Hi, my name is Andrew Agabak. I'm a 25-year veteran of management consulting at the Boston Consulting Group, finishing up as partner and director. And here's one thing that I wish I had known when I first started out, and that's how to deal with the volume of feedback that you get. And the headline is, get calibration on how that feedback stacks up for someone of your tenure and experience. So to unpack that, first of all, a big part of the reason I joined BCG was to learn new skills and to develop and grow. And a big part of how that works in management consulting is a high feedback environment, plenty of both formal and informal feedback. At BCG, that's called the apprenticeship model. And so you get lots of feedback on both your strengths and in particular your areas for development towards the bar that you're aiming for to get promoted in an up or out environment where every couple of years you basically either get promoted to the next level or politely asked to continue your career outside the firm. And that development feedback is great. It's a big part of how you learn and grow, but it can be overwhelming, especially at the beginning. And I can remember feeling, this is a lot and I'm not sure if I'm going to make it. And in particular, I can remember a point 18 months in when I had just presented at a meeting and I asked the project lead for some informal feedback on the presentation I'd just given. And he said, sure, very happy to do that. And he walked through what had been good. And he also outlined 7 things that he thought I could have done better. And I just felt overwhelmed to be 18 months in and still have 7 things that I needed to be working on was just frankly overwhelming. And I wasn't sure how to respond other than to thank him for the feedback, but something prompted me to ask him, these 7 things, are they normal for someone of my tenure and experience? And he paused and said, that's a good question. And he said, well, there's one thing, don't do that again, but these other 6, very, very normal for someone of your tenure and experience. And in fact, he was kind enough to say, I think I've seen a trajectory of improvement in a number of these areas over the last few weeks we've been working together. I think if you continue to improve in these areas, you're going to be fine. And that completely changed how I felt about obviously that feedback conversation, but also my whole, prospects at the firm and my career trajectory. It was so eye-opening to realize, okay, yes, I've got things to work on, but these things are normal for where I'm at. And so I want to encourage you, if you're in a similarly high performance environment with a high bar and lots of feedback, then to ask that question, where am I at? Am I on track, ahead of track, or behind where I need to be for someone of my experience, and what does that trajectory look like going forward? Because it makes an enormous difference. And even if the answer is not what you're hoping to hear, it helps you to understand where you're really at, as opposed to just having a laundry list of apparently infinite things to work on, because you'll always have things to work on. But knowing what's normal, what's expected, how calibrated you are for where you need to be for the performance bar you're shooting at makes a huge difference to how you feel, and certainly a huge weight off my shoulders. I hope that's helpful to you. Please do subscribe to find out more things that I wish I had known when I started out in management consulting.